Yeah, more NBA talk. We got our finals matchup set now. We know it's going to be the Indiana Pacers taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are heavy favorites. And, I mean, by all accounts, you can understand why they're doing some things at a historic rate, offensively, defensively, point differential. It's kind of crazy what they're doing, actually. I mean, I should have put $100 on them earlier in the year, just based off what they were doing. But now that we have the Eastern Conference settled and it's the Indiana Pacers, it kind of starts to become a conversation, Rob. And you and I have talked about a little bit of kind of where the league is right now. And I talked about the Thunder, how they're set up, I believe, for at least a 4 or 5 year run. You didn't agree with me then. In the Eastern Conference, I would imagine the Pacers, Myles Turner specifically, feels like they could be set up. And this is kind of the new model for how you run a team. Here's what he had to say.
It's a new blueprint for the league, man. I just, I think the years of the super teams and, stacking is just not, it's not as effective as it once was. You know what I mean? This NBA, since I've been in the league, this NBA is very trendy, it just shifts. But the new trend now is just kind of what we're doing. OKC does the same thing. Young guys get out and run, defend, and, use the power of friendship is how they call it.
Couple of things to know here. One thing I like that he said is not as effective, meaning if all of a sudden we all went to sleep tonight and woke up and the Lakers somehow got Giannis, well, okay, then, yeah, you got Giannis, LeBron, and
No,
Luka.
It doesn't work. He just said it wouldn't work.
No, not as effective. There's a key thing, meaning there's always going to be exception to the rule.
That's nonsense, what he's talking about.
But what absolutely we are seeing, and I think it goes back before the Thunder, back before the Pacers, I think it goes with the Celtics. And the Celtics, they got rid of their big three. They blew the whole thing up, and we thought this was going to be a long overhaul. It ended up being that they were good for years. They just hadn't gotten over the hump. Then they got their guy, identified it, Jason Tatum. Then we got another guy, Jaylen Brown. And then they had the glue guy, Marcus Smart, for years. And then you start to put pieces around them. You get an Al Horford. You get you get a Drew Holiday. You get away from Marcus Smart. You bring in a Drew Holiday, so on and so forth. You look at what OKC does, right? They get rid of Paul George, finally get rid of Russell Westbrook. You get rid of the guys that you knew, the stars of this league. And then they start to build. They build a young SGA. What happens again? We've identified our guy. And then now you start to build around that. You get a Jalen Williams. You get a Chet. You get a Lou Dort, who's undrafted. None of the guys on these teams, both teams, none of them are top 2, 3, 4 picks. It's amazing to see how they've been able to build this way. I think the lowest is like SGA at like 11, maybe Halliburton at 11. Everybody else is later draft picks, or they're undrafted, or the guys you brought in. And I think we're going to start to see this because the way the new deal is, it's going to be harder and harder to pay these guys big money. And also think teams got lazy, Rob. It's not that if you put 3 amazing guys together, it can't work. Teams just got lazy going, well, I got Devin Booker. Kevin Durant's good. Bradley Beal's good. That should work. And they're just putting people together that actually don't fit. The Lakers go, well, LeBron is good and Luka. Okay, what else are you doing? And I think teams gotten lazy by just simply going, long as I got 2 or 3 big names, we'll be good. And I think you're starting to see teams build around, make really good teams. Look at Denver, right? When they won, they had the best player in the world, a really good number 2 in Jamal Murray, and the perfect pieces around them. KCP, Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., spot-up shooter, rebounder. And that's what, to me, we're starting to see is you architect good teams. You build a good team. You find pieces. You don't necessarily just go get 2, 3 big names, close your eyes, and throw them at darts and hope it works. And again, as the way the money's going now, you're not going to be able to pay these guys, and you're getting guys who are buying in where it doesn't ultimately matter who's getting a shine tonight as long as the team is winning. And I think we're starting to see that. And that's kind of, to me, going to be the blueprint for the next handful of years. And then the new trend will come in, go get a 7'6" Wemby kind of guy. But right now, this to me is the architect. You're seeing it with the Pacers. You're seeing it with the Thunders. You saw it with the Celtics. That's, to me, where the league is going for the next handful of years.
I think it's totally wrong. I mean, because if I go over the list of teams that won championships, Tatum is one of the best players in the league, okay? So they have a great player.
Of course.
The Nuggets won. They have one of the best player in the world, right? So they had him. The Warriors, when they won the one before that, they have Steph Curry, one of the all-time great players in the NBA. When the Bucks won, it was Giannis and Chris Middleton. It was a second-round pick, but he was one of the best players who won. When LeBron and them won, there was no big three. I'm going over the last 6 or 7 years, there wasn't a big three. All right, LeBron and AD won that championship.
Wait, what are you're proving his
point?
point.
And then what I'm saying to you is The Big Three's been out a long time ago. They didn't just reinvent that. The Big Three. What Big Three hasn't won in 10 years is my point. This isn't new. When Toronto won, right? The Kawhi Leonard. They didn't make any other changes. Kawhi Leonard. I'm saying the last 10 years, there have been no Big Three that's won a championship. That's already been out. Brooklyn failed was, to me, the last one where it failed because of it. And the Suns, okay?
The Phoenix Suns was
and everybody
the worst
knew that. Nobody thought when they got
Bradley Beal.
Beal from Washington, oh, well, they're going to win the championship. Nobody wanted them. That people thought they were crazy to go get another guy who does the same thing. All I'm saying is you could talk about, oh, they just did this. The reason that the Thunder are in the championship is they have the MVP. They have the best player. And often that's what it is. If you go to look at all of these teams when they won, they've had the best player. Now, if you're telling me the Pacers win the championship and they beat Shea and other teams decide we don't want the MVP, we're gonna build on players like that and nobody who's the MVP, and we see a streak of that where 4 teams in a row win without having the MVP on their team, then I'm gonna say, okay, I see it. But you can't look at the last 8 or 9 years and act like something new happened this year. The best player on the best team won. When Denver won, they're the best player with the best player on it. You could go on and on and on. But that's how you win.
But I think I view it as you're misconstruing what he's saying.
How?
Because I think it's the attempt. I think teams are no longer going to
attempt to But they haven't done that.
Because they've been proven that it doesn't work. And I think he's what he said.
That? How can you say it's proven that it doesn't work when Golden State wouldn't have won those 2 championships without KD? It did work.
You just named that it hasn't been working, so therefore you move on. It's a copycat league.
Said it doesn't work.
The running back was the worst thing in the NFL for like 7, 8, 10 years. Now all of a sudden everybody has to start running back.
Did it work?
Things are
did
copycat.
Did the Warriors become?
Yes, and you literally your point was it didn't work the last 7, 8, 9 years. That's what we're saying.
No,
so it hasn't worked.
But that's not the teams I just ran down didn't have the Warriors. They had the Warriors the last time without Kevin Durant. I'm going to the last. Go look at the NBA.
I'm saying the point is you can't win.
You're making it like this is new. Oh, look, OKC did something that nobody's ever done.
What
They're
he's
building
saying
from
is
the ground.
The
and they don't
way
have any
to
star
build
players.
this
They have
is
the
to
MVP.
not simply go, oh, we automatically have to have these 2, 3 best players in the NBA. They're saying you need a guy. That's the first thing I keep saying.
That's why everybody.
The Celtics identified their guy.
Everybody
Tatum.
picked the Lakers and Luka because they got Luka. Everybody and their uncle.
And the whole point is you have to build around and create an actual team.
No, you got to get players who can play defense. You got 2 star players who can't defend anybody.
Build a team. And the point is the idea that as long as I have 3 guys on the team with a name,
Giannis won with a number 2 with a second round pick. And they're talking about like Shea, this is new. Did the Milwaukee Bucks not win with a second round pick as their second player?
Yes.
Okay, so what's new is what I'm asking you.
The point is, Rob, the point is within the last handful of years, this is the way these teams are being produced, and this is about moving forward. This is literally what you're gonna see with the Spurs. They got their guy in Wemby, they got a Fox, and then they're gonna start putting
Wemby's a star. What are you talking about?
Should be a star. We'll see. Right. He was a number 1 pick.
Wemby's a star. Wemby's a number 1 overall pick. He's a star.
Do you know how many overall picks don't mean nothing?
Okay, and if they win is Wemby, that's going to be like they just took anybody to build a team. No, they have a star player.
Are you not listening?
No, I'm listening.
You have to have a
sense.
guy. I started by saying identify your guy. If you're the Knicks, I've got my guy, Jalen Brunson.
My issue with what you're talking about is that it's not new.
Can I get it out? Can I get it
out?
The Pacers identified their guy, their pacemaker, Halliburton. You have SGA. Now I have to build around and build the perfect assets around that. I got a perfect number 2 guy in the Thunder, Jalen Williams.
No, but you're trying to make it. The point is Turner's telling people that like this is new, like the Thunder figured it out. This is what you just said. Blueprint. If they're giving you the blueprint, Milwaukee made the blueprint 4 years ago.
They didn't.
Yes,
I'm
they did.
I'm going to tell you why they did. I'm glad you said that, Rob.
Yes, they did because they won a championship with
you done?
With Middleton.
No, they didn't.
Chris Middleton.
His point is you have something that is sustainable. The Bucks didn't have
You
something.
you don't know if this is a one-off. They didn't even win the first championship.
He's talking about having youth, having a certain mindset.
You don't know that they're going to be there next year.
When Chris Middleton, who was good but was old, when you have other people, Brook Lopez, old, you start
Brook
to
Lopez
have to.
is still playing.
Old. LeBron James is playing, and what is he? Old.
Okay.
There are plenty of players that are still
no team
playing.
has repeated in 7 years, but the OKC Thunder are going to win the next 4 championships.
I already said this last week. They absolutely have a chance for the next 5-6 years to win 2 or 3.
It could be a one-off for me.
They have a chance to be in there the next 2 to 3, win 2 or 3 in the next 6 years. And that's all he's saying is you build like this where you're set up to be good for a while. Not that you're going to win every year. I'm good for a while versus I had a random one-off and now where am I? We ain't heard from the Raptors. Did you even know the Toronto Raptors existed?
They won a championship. That's all that matters.
And no, I want to be good and have sustained success.
You don't have to be good. I don't, because no one's winning multiple.
So then I want to be the one that does it.
Okay.
That's the history of the NBA.
But can they win
Multiples.
one first? Can they win one first? The whole idea is that they've created something new, and what I'm trying to tell you is when you have the best player, that's your chance. And then, of course, you got to put other pieces around them, but you can't build, quote unquote, a Butler or what was the other school that kept getting in the
Wichita State.
No, Rob G. The other that they were mid-major always out west. Oh my God. Gonzaga, right? Like everybody was like, "Oh, Gonzaga, they got a team. They don't have no star play." Did they win a championship? No, people still waiting on them. Did Butler ever win a championship? No.
Rob,
all I'm saying is this isn't new what Oklahoma City did. That's all I'm saying. That's my pushback. This is not new.
I think you're arguing semantics.
No, he said that this is a blueprint. How?
He's saying this style is the blueprint. It's the same thing the Thunder are doing. And
I'm telling you, it's been around
before
already.
we even knew these teams would be in the finals. It's the same thing the Celtics have been doing. I've been saying this for the entirety of me being on the show.
Then what blueprint do they have if the Celtics did it already?
So he's referencing their style. It's like this is the style. If the style in football is all of a sudden air it out for 70 years, it was three yards in a cloud of dust, and all of a sudden you're like, what if we start passing it? That's a new thing we're going to start. All right, and now you have teams that are saying we're going to air it out. And now teams are running backs.
No one wants Giannis, so they're not going to add Giannis to the team because
they don't singularly want Giannis.
So they don't want Giannis. They're not going to add him to the team because they have no shot to win.
Gutting your team and getting Giannis, what's the difference? If I gut the entire Knicks team.
So if the Knicks get Giannis or the Lakers, they have no shot to win because they went and put 3 stars together.
Am I gutting the entire team?
I'm just asking you.
I'm saying if gutting the entire team.
If Giannis goes to the Knicks with Cat and
no, but that's
Jalen,
unlikely.
No, I'm asking you. Would they have a chance to win?
Yes, because I have Cat.
So
but I can't gut my whole team because if I have to just have those 3 and nobody else, what we have seen is it doesn't work. It doesn't work. We've just seen it the last handful of years. Now, if I could cherry pick who I'd want, if you give me Giannis, if you give me Luka, and you give me Jokic, well then yeah, because I'm cherry picking like that. But it doesn't work when I'm gutting an entire team and just saying, well, these 3 should work. It was proven that it doesn't. You have to have a system, an organization, and a program and everybody's buy-in.
Are the Pacers and the Thunder the new blueprint in today's NBA?
I don't like the way you do it. Let me do that.
We'll continue the conversation
Pacers,
next week.
I don't like the way. No, I don't like the way. Rob G, I told you. I don't like the way he does that when it ain't what he.
It is
the Pacers and then Snuffleupagus Reed.
Let me read.
No,
let me read what I want to read.
You Snuffleupagus in me.
It is the 877-9905.
Eeyore, give me the Eeyore read.
877-996.
Give me the Tigger read.
6369. It is the Odd Couple. Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington.
You know what? I'm about to be the black judge on Perry Mason. Okay, what he should have said. What he should have said.
Don't say
I
anything.
object.
Don't say anything.
You're leading the witness.
It is the Odd Couple on a Magic City Monday.
Think you slick.
You know what you need to do?
Rob G, stop laughing over there. You think he's slick.
Stick and stay.
Unless you think the Pacers have the new blueprint, the U.S. of A.
See, I cover Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington. Or wait, let me do it like you. The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
I'm just articulating.
For over 40 years, Tire Rack has been helping customers. Rob, it was your point. And find the right tree of tires for how, what, and where they drive. Ship fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection. With convenient installation options like mobile tire installation.
I'm not trying to steer the
TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. I object, Your Honor. Leading the witness. All right, taking phone calls. Talking about Myles Turner believes the Pacers, the Thunder kind of have the new way of formulating a team. 877-99 on Fox. Who we got?
Next year when Giannis is on the Knicks, he'll say, "Oh, yeah, the Knicks was smart. They went out and got Giannis and won a championship." Yeah, if you're going to add a player of that caliber, that's the way to do it. Thanks.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, I like that impression. Look at you. Come on.
Dion in
come
Texas.
on my side of things.
You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Dion?
Well, hey, happy Monday, guys. Magic City Monday.
Yes.
Hey, guys, you're both so right. Rob, nothing new under the sun.
Nothing
so we know
new,
that.
right. They're making it
Yeah.
like they just invented the mousetrap or something.
You're right, and you're so right in the sense where, like you just said, if they were to get a team to get Giannis, that immediately puts them over the top.
Right.
But like K-Dub is saying, and what I think Turner is saying is, if you look at Houston, what they're trying to do, look at Memphis, they're trying to build a young core that's sustainable. Indiana got all those young guys, and OKC, none of them hadn't won anything yet, but they got these young guys. Somebody's about to win this year, and look at Milwaukee. DiVincenzo is a pretty good player, but they traded him away and got older with Holiday. Now they won a championship, but Holiday's gone, so they didn't build something sustainable. And I think that's what Myles Turner. That's the point he's trying to get.
But
out.
I'm just saying here in the NBA, and here's my point.
Right.
Is that you could look at it and see them on paper and really think that OKC is going to win 4 championships, and they could wind up being a one-off. You know, like they really could. Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
They could. Where
that's not impossible.
Everything worked out, and Shea was the MVP, and then next year they go, well, I know he won the MVP, but we don't like the way really he plays or whatever. And then all of a sudden he ain't the MVP, he ain't getting all the calls that he got this past year. You know what I mean? And then not that he's not a good player, but that changes the dynamics. Or Giannis comes to the West,
but
or somebody else. Or do you know what I'm saying?
I hear you, but I think that's why we're getting these different champions.
But that's my point.
Because teams are building really good teams, so it's not just like when you had KD.
But the Pistons are building a team because they were bad for so long, so you keep getting picks. Houston was bad for so long, right after Jay. So you're building teams by necessity because you were bad. All the teams you talk about, you were OKC. You got rid of Paul George because they offer you all these people. You had KD, whatever. They didn't win, so you traded those guys away. You got picks. So yes, that's what you do. As now, what's different is that OKC has made it to the championship without taking that next step. Being really good and just winning, and now they're in the finals. So that's different. But the idea that teams don't build like the same way the Warriors build their team was they were bad. They got Steph Curry. They got Draymond in the second round. Do you know what I mean? Like those were their players.
That's why I said I think it's just a little semantics between how it's being phrased. I think it's just semantics. Rob G.
I just got a question for Myles Turner for you guys. You can answer on his behalf. I understand saying that OKC is the blueprint because they got 11,000 picks. They got the MVP. And their consensus seems to be they're going to be good for a while. Is anyone going to point out to Myles Turner that he's been on the trade block for 4 years? And that they would have traded him to the Lakers with Buddy Hield for Russell Westbrook if the Lakers would agree to the deal.
I think he would have told you, Rob G.
And that they were never building towards anything. They actually offered, if you recall this, DeAndre Ayton a max contract to get him out of Phoenix.
Yep.
And Phoenix matched the deal, so they had no choice but to spend the money on these other guys. So were they ever actually trying to build something, or did things kind of work out in their favor, and now they're in this nice Cinderella run?
Right, and that's exactly my point.
I think drafting guys like Nembhard, drafting Nesmith to 11,
well,
12,
they traded
13,
for
Nesmith, right. You got the first,
there you
second
go,
round into the
trade,
draft,
right?
and trading for these little pieces that matter that on paper you're like, oh, okay. If you're even a fan of the team's like, who?
But I'm just saying it's not new. I mean, I think that's my biggest pushback. Is like,
so you're yelling at him for a couple years too late in this point.
Yeah, like if you did
so
something.
the man you thought he was thinking the last few years you wanted him to go 5 years.
No.
You'll never be the 04 Pistons,
that's what
okay?
Exactly.
That's the team that was built.
Milwaukee, who
yes.
won in what 2021, like that. Okay, so he's a year off. He's a couple years off.
But they won it. Well, I'm just saying that wasn't that
and they didn't do it that way. That's why we were talking about.
The last blueprint was the 04 Pistons with Chauncey and Rip and the Wallace brothers and Tayshaun.
Do I sound like that?
No superstars, just a good team.
Just a good team.
That's unbelievable. All right, Kevin.
Joe Dumars somewhere smiling right. That's my boy Rob.
Kevin in Culver City. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Kev?
God is good.
All the time.
And he would be even better with some wings. I'm just saying, Kevin.
Oh, this is wings, man. Hey, when you look at this, you look at the way the Pacers are laid out, I think what Myles is saying is we move past the big three era of the Dwayne Wades, the Chris Bosses, the LeBron.
Yeah, but
James.
I agree with that. But that was years ago. Other than right, other than them getting Bradley Beal, Kevin. That's what I'm trying to say. Other than the Suns doing that, and the only reason the Nets thing, they were all injured, so they played like a total of 40 games or something total. Like that's all they ever played.
But that's a part of it. I think that's the reference
No, but that
point.
doesn't mean that they wouldn't have won had they been healthy. Had Kevin Durant not stepped on the line, Milwaukee might not have won that championship.
Kevin still?
Definitely. And I think, Rob, you were challenging your Kendrick Lamar with the F the big three. It's just me. I was like, damn, is Rob hanging out with K-Dot?
I tried to get him out to the pop out. You know what I mean? He ain't want to come with me though. You know.
Oh no, he's got the GNX vibe. I think he's secretly got the album. I have to see if he.
I parked next to him. I hear it was being bumped in there. That ain't it.
Oh, definitely. And another thing too, the second apron. I think in the second apron era, I think it's going to be really hard for teams to load up on superstars. So this might be the blueprint that teams are forced.
And that was one of my points, Kevin, is having not having that money at your disposal like that. You're not going to be able to just give away a bunch of contracts to big guys. So appreciate you, Kevin. One day, Rob. What'd you say, Rob? Oh, he said he'd get his wings from you one day. One day. When you gonna pull up on him, Rob?
I know. Kev is right in Culver City.
Right. That's literally right by you.
Come on, Kev. You made that. You said it with your chest out. The Lakers and all that going to the finals. You remember that?
He said it, and you can have him say grace too.
That's right. Bless my food before I eat it. That's right.
Bless the food.